Welcome to today's explainer on lowering your property taxes in Alabama. Let's just jump right in. Did you know that a simple application could save you hundreds of dollars on property taxes each year? Stay tuned to learn how you can take advantage of Alabama's Homestead Exemption. Seriously, whether you just bought a house or you've been living in yours for a decade, you do not want to miss this. It's a direct pathway to keeping your hard-earned money right in your own pocket.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, an introduction to Homestead Exemption. Then, eligibility requirements, the step-by-step application process, avoiding pitfalls and real examples, local resources and contacts, and finally, some final thoughts and a disclaimer. Section 1. Introduction to Homestead Exemption. What it is and how it benefits you. So, what exactly is it? The Alabama Administrative Code defines a homestead exemption as a statutory tax break a property owner may claim to reduce ad valorem property taxes. Now, don't let ad valorem trip you up. It's just a fancy legal term for taxes based on the assessed value of your home. The absolutely crucial part here is that this exemption is for people who own and occupy a single-family residence as their primary home. It's not for a beach house, and it's definitely not for a rental property. It is strictly for the place you actually call home every day. And check out this number, 160. That's not dollars, folks, that's acres. In Alabama, this exemption doesn't just cover the physical structure of your house and your front lawn, it can cover up to 160 acres of adjoining property. If you're out in a more rural part of the state with a lot of land attached to your primary dwelling, that is a massive, massive benefit. Section 2. Eligibility requirements. Let's find out if you qualify. Alabama doesn't just do a one-size-fits-all thing here. They break it down into 4 tiers. Feel free to pause the explainer right here if you want to look closely at this chart. Basically, you've got the H1 standard exemption. If you're under 65 and not disabled, there are no income limits at all. You instantly get up to $4,000 of your home's assessed value exempt from state taxes and $2,000 from county taxes. Then there's H2 for seniors 65 and up, or the legally blind, who have an Alabama adjusted gross income of $12,000 or less. That gives you a 100% state exemption and a $5,000 county exemption. Now, H3 is huge if you're 65 or older with a combined federal income of $12,000 or less, or if you're retired due to a permanent and total disability regardless of your age or income, you are 100% exempt from all ad valorem taxes. State, county, school district, everything. Lastly, H4 is for seniors making over $12,000. You still get a 100% state exemption and $2,000 off at the county level. So take a second to figure out your tier because it sets up exactly what you do next. Section 3. Step-by-step application process. How to successfully file your claim. Knowing your tier is great, but timing is literally everything in this process. Step 1. You absolutely must own and occupy the home as your primary residence by October 1st. That's Alabama's official lien date for property taxes. Step 2 is gathering your docs, which we'll hit in a second. And Step 3 is your hard deadline. You have to file your application with your county office by December 31st. Seriously, if you close on a house on October 2nd, you miss the window and have to wait for the next year's cycle. Burn those 2 dates into your brain, October 1st and December 31st. Now for the paperwork, which is highly specific. You're going to need a copy of your property deed and an Alabama driver's license that perfectly matches your property address. Quick heads up for anyone moving here from out of state, you cannot use your old out-of-state license. You've got to update your ID first. If you're going for the senior tiers, H2, H3, or H4, you'll need those state or federal income tax returns to prove your income limits. Applying for a disability exemption, you need official award letters from the VA or Social Security Administration. If you don't happen to have those, Alabama requires 2 specific Department of Revenue physicians' affidavits, and one of those doctors has to be actively treating you for that exact disability. Moving on to Section 4, avoiding pitfalls and real examples, learning from common mistakes and real successes. Because this process isn't automatic, things can and do go wrong. The biggest mistake we see? Homeowners assuming their title company or mortgage lender filed this for them at closing. Let me be perfectly clear, they don't. It is entirely your responsibility. Another huge pitfall is missing that strict December 31st deadline. Miss it and you legally forfeit the exemption for the entire year. Also, if you have an H2, H3, or H4 exemption, you usually have to verify it every single year. The county sends you a form in the mail, and if you just forget to mail it back, they will drop your exemption. And finally, do not try to double dip. You cannot claim multiple homestead exemptions across different properties or states. They will catch that. But when things go right, the results are incredible. Let's look at a real success story. Property taxes in Alabama are already relatively low. Base taxes on a $300,000 home are roughly $1,110 a year. But let's say a homeowner qualifies for that H3 exemption, like a 100% disabled military veteran. Their tax bill drops to absolute zero, literally $0 per year. Every single ad valorem line item is wiped out. That is a massive, life-changing financial benefit for our veterans and disabled citizens.
Section 5, Local Resources and Contacts, Where to Go for Help. You know you qualify and you know what docs you need, but the way you actually file depends entirely on what county you live in. Alabama is very decentralized. In a big county like Jefferson, it's pretty easy. You can use an online digital portal or go in person in Birmingham or Bessemer. In Mobile County, you can go in person, mail it, or even email it. Just keep in mind, if you email it, your affidavit has to be notarized first. Up in Madison County, their online portal asks for some really specific uploads, like set date letters from Huntsville Utilities and your homeowner's insurance declaration pages. But if you're out in one of Alabama's beautiful rural counties, you're most likely going to take a physical trip down to the local courthouse to see the revenue commissioner or tax assessor directly. Honestly, the absolute best advice here is to always call your specific county office ahead of time so you know exactly what they want you to bring. And hey, keep an eye on local legislation because tax laws are constantly evolving. For example, our sources point out a pending bill in Madison County called SB 371. If that passes, it would freeze the assessed property value for seniors over 65 who've lived in their homes for at least 5 years. Now, we are absolutely not taking any political sides on this bill. We're just pointing out that the landscape of tax relief is always shifting. Staying connected with your local legal resources and tax assessor's office is always a smart move to make sure you aren't leaving money on the table. Section 6, Final Thoughts and Disclaimer. Taking action on your tax savings. We've covered a ton of ground today, so are you ready to claim your savings and apply for your Alabama Homestead exemption? Do not let this slide to the bottom of your to-do list. Go check your deed, double-check that October 1st date, get your Alabama driver's license updated, and reach out to your county tax office well before December 31st. Seriously, just a few hours of gathering paperwork today could save you thousands and thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your home. So what are you waiting for? Finally, before we sign off, the information provided in this explainer is for general informational purposes only and is not intended to provide specific legal or financial advice. For advice regarding your individual situation, please consult with a qualified professional or legal advisor. Thank you so much for learning with us today, and best of luck securing those savings.